Hi there. Welcome to On Stuff with Jeff, where I'm Jeff and I talk about my stuff. Today we're going to have an episode of LUDOS Praetorium where I grab one of my games and show you how to play it. Today we're going to do Dream Park. Dream Park came out in 1991 from our Talsorian Games, designed by the famous Mike Pondsmith, who many of you may know, who also designed the Cyberpunk 2020 role-playing game, which the current, not quite ready video game is based on. This came out in 1992, and it was based on a novel series called Dream Park. Dream Park came out in 1981, the first one. Written by Larry Niven and Stephen Barnes. There you go. Take a look again. I don't know if I've got that too close. Dream Park. I love the smell of books. Dream Park. Well, it's a entertainment, park where people participate in role-playing experiences. People use props and clothes and all the other objects inside the park are holographically enhanced. So it's kind of like the Westworld park with a little bit of the old Star Trek holodeck magic. Well, I haven't looked at this for quite a while. The idea of Dream Park is that you are a guest at the Dream Park, like the book. The characters are guests. Actually, the second book in the series was the California Voodoo Game, and the third book in the series was the Barsoom Project. Anyway, you show up as a guest, and you create a character, and whatever the adventure is, you retool your character with your bonus points to be able to play in that particular adventure. Yeah, you heard right. This isn't like a lot of other role-playing games where you are a person, where you create a character and you play in a story that everybody's that the game master came up with, and the story is the story that you are playing in. With this. You are playing a guest at the Dream Park. It's not as complicated as it seems. So let's get to it. Okay, let's crack this thing open. There's a title page, table of contents. It has some of the art, kind of giving you an idea of what is possible for your guest in the Dream Park, because you could play just about anything. Your character can create any type of character you would like, if you have the points. Here's the introduction. It kind of does like an in-game character from the story, from the original novel, kind of walking you through what Dream Park is. There's an artist's interpretation of the Dream Park map. Some other characters from the book. Explain to you about the theoretical technology of the. Here's how it works. Is you use a prop, and there's a hologram there's a hologram that goes over it. So your prop could be made to look like anything that you've used points to buy. There's a game master. A game master is a role-playing game term, or also the original Dungeons and Dragons, it was the dungeon master. That's the person that is the player who runs the story. They run the game. They're the judge. They're the director. They're the people who run around doing rewrites at the last minute. They act out the parts of the bad guys, of the of your allies, of the bystanders, whatever. Okay. Here's here's some more of those Game Master characters. And of course, these are the two authors, Larry Niven and Stephen Barnes of the original Dream Park novel series. And there we go. And of course, there is the esteemed Mike Pondsmith, designer. Okay, it kind of gives you a quick start. Shows you some of the characters. Explains to you a little bit about how things work. We'll start off with how do you basically using a skill. A skill use in Dream Park is really easy. You have your skill number, whatever your skill number is, which on your character sheet, and you roll one regular, plain old 6-sided die. You take that number, you add it to what your skill, value is, and that's what you got. That's your result. Now in combat, your opponent gets to roll a dodge. So they roll a die, add that number to what their dodge skill is. And if you are higher, then you hit them. If you tie, then it's a miss. Okay. And of course, when you do damage is the damage is determined by the power of the attack and the power of the defense. And what I mean by defense, I mean the armor of the target. And that all comes down to this thing here, a table. So if you were to smack somebody in the face, let's see, where's that? Punch, right here. If you were to punch somebody in the face and say they had a t-shirt on, that's no armor, you would do 2 damage. And of course you can see how the heavier the attacks, the heavier the more resistant the armor has to be for you to not do damage. So basically, you roll your die. If you make your attack, you look at what your power is, what you're like. If you're shooting with a gun, or you're punching somebody in the face, or you're using the photon torpedoes or a fireball or something, and determine the amount of damage that gets through. The amount of damage that gets through is the damage. Anyway, I'm tired. Okay, let's see here. And at the beginning, it gives you like some sample adventures. Blah, blah, blah. Keys of time, under the microscope. And then, now this is the fun part of just starting up. And that's creating characters. Okay, so you have your character sheet. Here, I have one right here. There's a regular old character sheet. Your name, the character's name, the amount of game points you have, and what your profession is in the real world. Not you, your character, your guest character. This thing keeps wobbling on me here. Okay. Let's see. And you have your background. When you design a character, you have to, describe what the character, who the character is, and what your job is, your out-of-park profession. Are you a construction worker? Are you an astronaut, a police officer, an artist? Do you work in marketing? Do you work in a grocery store or whatever? And whatever your character's background is, can sometimes help in game. And let's see, physical makeup, motivation, attitudes and traits. Just little things that role-playing things that can flesh out who your guest character is. And then there's personal attributes. Now these aren't, you don't have to take them, but if you take one of the good ones, you have to take a bad one. So for example, there's if you want to be good looking, if your guest is good looking, that can give you bonuses to whether how you affect people when you talk to them. It can also, maybe, you can fool somebody. It'll help you fool somebody into believing you're a model, or if you're highborn or whatever. And of course, there are the disadvantages, the personal problems. There's, the typical stuff: phobia, addiction, psychological, and problems. Are you ugly? Can you read? Which really, if you can't read, then how could you afford to go to a dream park? Anyway, yeah, all these different things. Okay, then fleshing out more character stuff, like what your character's goals are. Maybe they're very competitive and they want to be the best at Dream Park. They want to be the champion, or maybe they're just using it to stay away from somebody. And basic skills, which, so the basic skill, okay, here we go. Okay, so you have your character. So your character walks in, and everybody gets to choose an in-park character template. It's you can choose a fighter, somebody uses magic, a thief, somebody who's psychic, a superhero, somebody who heals with miracles, an engineer, a lore master. Now, lore master is a special type of character class. They're, wise people. They have lots of information, but they also have a chance to have in-game. They're able to have special bits of information that they can use during the game that none of the players would necessarily know. Okay, so, and you can see there's all the different, all the basic skills. These are the basic skills. Every character template, every basic character template has them. And you can see, the fighter has a melee weapon skill of 4 and range weapon skill of 3. You could obviously just mention, you mention your to your game master. Could I be better at guns than swords? And they'll probably say it's okay. And then there's knowledge, hand to hand, tinkering, athletics, awareness, stealth, willpower, and of course dodge. And as you can see, they all have that. Now there is another type of character class, template. It's the multi-class. That's where you get to choose two different character types, but your skill values are lessened. So you have access to different abilities, to a wider array of abilities, but you don't start out as good with them. Okay, now customize your skills, a few hints, blah, blah, blah. Even has rules for creating your own template, your own basic template. Say you want to make a Jedi, that type of thing. Because in this game, you'd have to multi-class to be a Jedi, I think. I might explain that later, I don't know. Okay, options. Now, this is the part, when you start off, when your guest's character starts off, their first Dream Park adventure, they start off with 20 game points, and those 20 points can be used to buy special skills and equipment, and negotiate with your game master, and you might be able to get something that doesn't fall into any of those categories. Depending on the difficulty of the skill that you're learning, it costs more points to buy it. Okay. Now, one of the ways where the multi-class character template shines is that, say for example, you're a fighter, but you want your character to be able to throw a fireball, or be able to fix their spaceship. Well, those two, the fireball and starship engineer, are not fighter skills. They're outside of your regular abilities. So you would pay double the skill cost of you for you trying to use a skill outside of your trying to buy a skill outside of your template. And with the multi-class, you choose 2 character templates, and you can buy skills at regular cost from both of those templates. So if you want, you could buy, you could have an engineer who can fight really well. And here's a list of the skills, optional skills. Not all the skills are tied to a particular class. There it goes again. There are universal skills like athletics, basic athletic skills, knowledge skills, perception skills, performance skills, stuff like that. Now you can see you've got your and mobility skills. You've got your fighter skills, which are like archery, fencing, martial arts, vehicle weapons. Lore master skills are arcane lore, cryptology, deduction, hunch, identify magical object, research, speak to animals, and understand tech. Clerical is diagnose illness and physician. Then there's their engineering skills like advanced materials tech, bioengineering, electronics, cyber tech, hyper energy tech, set disarm traps, and thief skills, escape artist, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean. And so... see, and then of course there's a list of spells, of course, and psionic powers like detect falsehood, turn on. Those are clerical spells. Sorry, resurrection, turn undead, magical wizard spells like growth of plants, bind soul, charm, paralyze. Knowledge skills, which we already went over. Psionic abilities like mental link, levitation, mind wipe, and of course, superpowers. You can be a superpower. You can build a superhero character, or a supervillain character, or a super ambivalent character. Now, one of the main differences of superpowers. The other powers, the psionic powers, the clerical powers, and the wizard powers, magical powers. Every time you use one of your powers, the next time you use it, it's 1 point less. The effectiveness until it's down to 0, in which you can't use it anymore. With superpowers, you don't have that. You don't have to worry about not being able to use them. By just because you use them too many times. They don't, you don't have to recharge them. They're on all the time, and so they are much more expensive to buy when you're building your in-park character. Descriptions of superpowers, things like shape change, slow flying speed, X-ray vision. Let's see, blasts and and of course different types of beams and things like that you shoot. And of course here's your weapons. So weapons and your gadgets. There's a list of, even arranges the weapons and armor by by technological level. Like the future, modern, historical, and ancient. See, vehicle armor. Yeah, you can buy vehicle armor. Let's see. There's let's see. Grenade launcher, bayonet, arquebus, broadsword, needler, stun weapon, energy pistol. Different types of armor. There's like lacquered plate, shield, bulletproof clothing. spacesuit, subdermal armor, and of course all your gear, like different modes of transportation, like a boat, a car, spaceship, mini sub, starship, stuff like that. Different gear, different types of gear, watch, goggles, technical scanner, like you know what I mean, that type of stuff. And then there's like, if people want to use the grid, a grid, and like haggle over, no, I'm too close. I'm actually this close, and you can use that. It's almost like like the miniature element, the miniature use element of Dungeons and Dragons. Different your movements, your movement speed per turn, stuff like that. How far you can run after you attack somebody. Dodging and avoiding damage, which everybody wants to do. There's the wound the wound table. Tells you how much damage you can do to somebody depending on your weapon and their armor. Rules on what happens when you take damage. Let's see, special effect attacks, weapons combat. Yeah, it has rules for weapons combat. Sorry, for vehicle combat, dogfights, stuff like that. And of course, the last bit is experience. So, okay, let's say that your player has chosen to start his or her career in Game Park with a fighter template. And your first adventure is called Godot Father Space Fortress Wuthering Heights. Say it's a evil robot mafia lord on a giant spaceship that is haunted by ghosts or something like that. Okay, so you got one of the players has the cleric healer template. So in case you run into ghosts, that person will probably be able to deal with the ghosts specifically. I've got somebody who just wants to have superpowers and fly around and shoot lasers. Another person, is going to be able to fix things. They're an engineer template, so they really want to be a really cool spaceship engineer who understands unusual technologies. So that still leaves room for you to be what you really, really want to be, John Wick. So you're going to want, first off, you're going to want to switch the values on the fighter skill. You can see here, like I mentioned before at the beginning, the melee weapons is 4 and the range weapon is 3. Now you're John Wick, so you're going to want to be able to shoot guns. So your game master should let you flip that, no problem. Okay, so there you go. You're good with guns. So, well, let's start off. You got your 20 points. So now you got to buy your skills and equipment. So let's see here. John Wick is quick on his feet, very agile. He can flip around. He probably has acrobatics. So that's 3 points. That's a hard. So that costs 3 game points to buy 1 point of skill because it's a hard skill. So that's 3 points gone out of the 20 that you start with. He also, and you notice that it's not a class skill, so it doesn't cost extra. Anybody can use this one. Anyone can buy this one. Let's see here. His fighter skills. He wants to be, John Wick is good in a fist fight, as well as using weapons. So he'll gain the skill martial artist at hard, and that's a hard skill, so that's another 3 points. So that's 6. Let's see. What else? John Wick Let's see. Does he have a knowledge skills? Let's see here. First aid. Yeah, John Wick needs to be able to fix himself. So if he buys couple points in first aid, easy, that's a 1, so that's 2 points. So that brings us to 8. 1 point in acrobatics for 3 points. 1 point in martial arts for 3 points. And 2 points in first aid for 2 points. So that's 8 points so far. Let's see. Those are knowledge skills, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So that's 8. Okay, so now he's going to need a gun. At least one gun. Let's go find weapons. Where are they here? Personal gear. Personal gear. Here we go. So, let's see. He's going to need a... Let's see. Let's see. No, it may not be able to afford that. Where? Heavy auto pistol. That's 8 points. So that brings us to 16. So that leaves 4 points to see if he can buy some armor. Can he do that? No, it doesn't look like. And there's body padding. I guess we could get him some body padding, and that's 4 points, and that stops 3 wounds. So that's moderately helpful. So let's take a look. So that heavy auto pistol does deadly damage. So there we go. So there we go. He got a gun. He can jump around. He knows kung fu. So there we go. So that's that guy. So I don't know. You could with 20 points. Well, let's see what you can do as a superhero. Let's see. Movement. Well, your super leap costs 12. That leaves you with 8. So maybe not that. Defensive powers. Tough. That helps out. That might help out a bit. Let's see. Area of effect powers. Create light. Animal control. Let's see. Amazing strength. Basically, it looks like at the beginning of the game. Now, a lot of this stuff is coming back to me. You can pretty much only buy one superpower, because you're going to need some other skills as well. You can if you have a deadly plasma blast or laser blast or mind blast or whatever you want to call it, it costs 20. Let's take a look at the cost of some of these psychic powers. Here we go, psychic powers like machine telepathy, like in a way it's kind of like Box from Alpha Flight. The guy. Now I would love to build Box from Alpha. Let's see if I can do that with the superpower. But that would need just for a basic version of Box from Alpha Flight. It would be very expensive. He would have. Let's see. Is there a super gadget power here? Machine affinity. Interesting. Isn't there a gadget power? Oh, well. Well, maybe that's something you could make up. because that would be cool. You know, so a character with the power to create any type of gadget and then control it. That's super cool. Anyway, I know I'm an Alpha Flight nerd. Most people probably have never heard of Alpha Flight, but I don't care. So there you go. So you've made your character and you're ready to go on an adventure. And when you've when you've finished, you get experience points, and that goes on top of the 20 points that you started with. So as you can see, as you go forward in the game, you're able to buy more abilities and stuff, and you could eventually be, just like John Wick. Even driving a car. You imagine driving a car on a spaceship. Well, Doctor Who had dinosaurs on the spaceship, but you could. So again, you can make just about any type of character, and envision any type of adventure in the Dream Park. It's all up to you. And one other thing: if your character dies in the park, if your character dies during the adventure, you actually lose points. So it is possible for you to be killed out of the park. And then you'd have to come and start all over again. So every time you lose, I think what it is, you lose half of your remaining points, of your game points, which is pretty, I mean, come on, Mike, that's really, really harsh. Okay. But there you go. That's Dream Park. And and that's Dream Park. Thanks, Mike. Good game. Good game to get people started out on role playing, because you can literally, you can create any type of character. You don't and just have fun. You don't. I guess one of the benefits of this being a game within a game is you don't have your game master giving you a hard time for speaking out of character type of thing, because you're a character playing a character. I remember I only played this a few times, and I tried to run an adventure once. Something involved, I can't remember. All I can remember is that it involved the Mary Queen of Scots. I don't remember what the crisis was. I just remember it involved Mary Queen of Scots, and I horribly underestimated the power level. I did a terrible job, so I was pretty embarrassed. But so it's still a good game. You should give it a try. I'm pretty sure you can still pick it up off of the our Talsorian website. RPG, what is it called? RPG Drive-Thru. They're a print-on-demand website that handles role-playing games. They might have this, but I would recommend going directly to the publisher. So if you like this type of content, where I babble on about hope I can teach you properly how to play a particular game I like. Like, subscribe, ding the little bell. If you're interested, I also have a show where I talk Cryptometallum, where I talk about my metal collection of heavy metal music. And I have one where I talk about books I like. So, take a look. I hope you like it.